Welcome to the Beyond the Build podcast, where we explore the inspiring stories of everyday people from all walks of life who prioritize fitness and healthy living despite their unique backgrounds and challenges. Through honest conversations about their upbringing, personal growth, and their relationship with food, each episode aims to eliminate excuses and empower listeners to take ownership of their health by showing that someone just like them is already doing it. If you enjoyed today's episode, please like, comment, and share it with someone who can find value in it. And with that, sit back and enjoy the show. And we're back with another episode. Episode 20, we made it to the double digits, like in and out. Big 2-0. But thank you for tuning in today. This is a good one. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus with the holidays and such, but we're in the new year and a lot of great wisdom and gold nuggets here with my good friend Andrew. Honestly, really enjoyed editing this and re-listening to our conversation. There was a lot of good points that kind of struck a chord with me again, and things that I needed to hear. So kind of dive into, mental health and the importance of checking in on your friends and your people that are close to you, and just, not comparing yourself to other people, really figuring out what your goals are. If someone next to you is benching 315, but maybe that's not your goal. Maybe their goal is to be as big as possible. Maybe your goal is just to trim up, lose some weight, be okay with your journey. We're all on a different race. We all have different things going on in our lives. But the cool thing is that we all have different things going on in our lives. And so there's really no point in comparing because you don't know what other people are dealing with. So it's not a fair comparison. But let's jump into it. I hope you enjoy and check up on your homies. Testing. All right. Welcome back to the show. This is episode 20. You're well past the double digits. We're in the double digits.
Yeah.
We got my good friend Andrew here joining us today. I know a little bit about your story, really inspiring, and I'm excited to share it with the people.
Yeah.
So,
awesome.
Yeah.
No, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me. This is awesome. I'm glad to get to be a part of this. Watching the episodes, I'm glad to be on here.
Heck yeah. I'm excited. So when I first met you, you were like probably the most muscular, kind of most jacked dude in the room.
Yeah. Probably the biggest I'd been probably in the past couple of years at that point. Yeah.
I was like, okay, this dude gyms. This dude goes to the gym.
Yeah.
But has it always been like that? I know a lot of people, maybe they grew up as the skinny kid and that motivated them, or they grew up as the fat kid, or maybe they just like their parents were in sports and then they were in sports their whole life and that's just what they knew. But what was it like for you, kind of like growing up?
Yeah. So growing up, I was kind of the opposite. I was always the skinniest kid. I was always, sophomore, junior year, I was probably 160 pounds soaking wet. I was always
116 or
160. Not that skinny. It was like, no, but I was, I played basketball all grown up. I ran track. I did all of the, not super muscle needing sports. I guess basketball, you need some, but
not football though.
Yeah. Not football, not wrestling, not something where you needed to be super jacked.
Yeah.
And growing up, that always kind of bothered me. I was real skinny all throughout elementary school, and, kind of put on a little bit of weight and then you shoot up, and it was like always super thin. And that kind of stunk because then I feel like I got through high school and I wanted to talk to girls, and that caused like a lot of self-confidence issues, a lot of things that bothered me, and that, girls would make fun of me because I was skinny. It was like just cracking jokes about like, oh no, you need to eat more. And I was like, no, but I don't want to get fat. And it just kind of was a whole cycle of things. And then, got to a point where my senior year of high school, I got into the gym for the first time. And I just quit basketball the year before. And I was like, I want to try this out. And just started going, and I fell in love with the process ever since. Got to the point where, within a year and a half, 2 years, I bulked up to about 230, 240. And after that was just putting on size like crazy. It wasn't the cleanest bulk, I have to say, but got and just fell in love with it ever since.
Yeah. That's awesome. Did you have, at that transition point when you're like, I'm gonna start going to the gym. Did you have a friend group or a friend that was also doing that, or was it just
hmm
yeah,
Yeah, I did. Shout out to my buddy Garrett. Funny thing is we were both really, really skinny. And same thing. I mean, he was like 6'4", same thing, 160 pounds. We were both just real thin guys.
yeah,
And we had a buddy who had a warehouse gym. It was like their family business, but they had a bench set up. And we were both too broke to get a gym membership. We were like 16. We
yeah,
spent all the money we had. We were just dumb high school kids. We went, and I remember we would go at 5 a.m. We'd go work out this like little warehouse, just doing whatever we could, just trying to max out on bench and just do like 135 or something like that. And we get
yeah,
so hyped
yeah,
about that. But no, he really got me into it just because he kind of saw the same thing. He started to see results, and he really helped push me into it, push me into that zone. Cause that was something you hear about, and you don't know what you don't know.
yeah,
But in that sense, I knew, okay, if I work out, I'll get bigger muscles. But it was just getting to that point. He really helped push me because I was nervous to go. I feel like
yeah,
everybody can be a little bit self-conscious doing something that they haven't done before. You can get a little bit nervous. I've never been to the gym. Oh, what if people make fun of me because I do something wrong? What if I look weird? And those were my mental barriers going in, and he helped put me in an environment that eliminated that, where it was just us and another guy just going and doing whatever we could. So shout out to my buddy Garrett. He's the one who got me there.
No, that's sick. My story is a little bit similar. Like, grew up super skinny, and then it wasn't until like after it was in college,
Yeah.
and my buddy was doing like a Kino Body program, and he was like
Mm.
he wasn't super skinny, but he was kind of like normal size, right? But then I saw him in college because I knew him like a few years ago prior, and then he was like his chest and his arms had kind of like blown up, and I was like, so, like, what's up with that?
How do you
Like,
get those?
how'd you do that?
Yeah.
So, yeah, same thing. And I was just like, okay. So I followed him to the gym, and he's like, this is called a curl, and this is called,
Nice.
this is the bench press.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Like,
Yeah.
write that down.
Taking notes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, same thing.
No, definitely. And I think there's that dilemma where people are like, is it easier to go from skinny to fat, or skinny to super in shape, or from fat to in shape? I mean, this is just me. I'm just on team skinny. It kind of sucked to put on mass. I don't know if you felt the same way,
Yeah.
but it's hard. I mean, when you want to put on some weight to do it clean, at least, it's always the hardest to get the extra next 5 pounds of lean muscle mass.
And it takes a little bit longer too, especially if you've been training for a couple years. And
Hitting the plateaus.
yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. Yeah. And I get that people too, like, I don't know if you heard this a lot, but for me growing up, it was like, ah, you're so lucky you're skinny. And they're like, I wish I was skinnier. And I'm just like, dude, shut up. Like, you don't want to be skinny.
Yeah.
Like,
This is the worst. Funny enough, I got told that a lot from a couple buddies in high school. I mean, because same thing. I was friends with a couple guys who were in football, and they would clown on you because you were skinny and you couldn't lift weights. But then they'd go and they'd be like, "Oh, well, how do I lose fat around here?" And I'm like, You can't pick and choose.
yeah.
You can't have your cake and eat it too." But
Yeah. So I tell people, like, like, if I'm here trying to get here and you're here trying to get here, like, it's just a different journey.
yeah,
And you just got to figure out what works for you, your body, your systems, your habit, your lifestyle. Make it, just whatever you got to do to make it work.
exactly. I mean, just kind of going off of that, that's something that really I emphasize a lot, is because people have asked me, because I'm sitting around like 205, 210 right now. But people ask me a lot, what do I need to do to get to the biggest? I'm like, well, there's kind of a game plan, a blueprint you can use to follow. You need to be in a caloric surplus, and you need to go and you need to train in your 5 to 8 rep range versus your 10 to 12. But whatever works for you works for you. Whatever you're doing may work for you. It may not work for me to put on size.
Or not the same.
Exactly, because we all have different proportions, different genetics. We all have different. I mean, we're different. I think at the end of the day, we all have different upbringings. I mean, eat different foods. It's just, a lot of differences between. It's not just one simple thing that works for everybody, which that's something that I think in the fitness industry, a lot of people are like, this is the secret right here. This is the
Mm.
one thing you need. I'm like, good advice,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not just the one thing. I think that's something that I have found out, especially over the past couple of years. It's not just one thing. It's all
Mm.
different. Whatever works for you works for you. You just need to be the one to go and find it.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like we're in 2025, everybody's got ChatGPT in their pocket. Everybody knows, like, you can say, hey, how do I get in shape? And it'll be like, eat healthy, go to the gym. If you're trying to lose weight, eat a little bit less. If you're trying to gain weight, eat a little more. So everybody
Mhm.
like knows, but
Yeah.
it's like a matter of, okay, like, do you implement it? And then does that work for your lifestyle? And like,
Yeah.
if you don't want to do like a deadlift, figure out something else that works the same muscles.
Mm-hmm.
But don't let that
Exactly.
be the reason that you're like, the gym I tried the gym, but deadlift, it hurt my back. So like it didn't work for me. It's like,
Yeah.
you can't really play that game.
No, definitely. It makes me laugh a little bit when people are like, oh man, I wish I would go to the gym and I wish I could see the results that you did. I almost like get a little bit offended. I don't know how if you have been
Yeah.
told
And
the
it's
same
like,
thing.
okay, so you kind of downplays all the effort.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing, I mean, I won't say their name, but they're a guy who I've seen before, and they went and said, I don't want to get like too big. I just want to get to like your level. And I almost just knocked him out on the spot. I was just like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Just the past 4 years of 6 days a week, nonstop dedication, just to get kind of like me. And they're like, yeah, just in the next like 3 to 6 months. I'm like, okay, sure. It's like
I gotta go over here before I kill you.
yeah, I was like, no, smile, nod your head. Yep, yep, yep. I'm gonna smack you. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. But I mean, like you said, it's just the common knowledge of knowing the basics on what to do. But at the end of the day, you have to be the one to go and do the work. Nobody can do it for you. Or, oh,
Mm.
well, I tried going to the gym. Okay, you tried? Did you really? Did you really do it? Did you really do all that you could? I
Mm.
think at the end of the day, people just get so hung up on, oh, well, I tried it and it didn't work.
Mm.
Well, why didn't you try something else? Oh, well, I didn't really like weightlifting.
It's like the all or nothing mentality. I
Exactly.
gotta go 6 days a week, 2 hours a day. Otherwise, what am I even doing? I'll just,
Mm-hmm.
when I have more
Exactly.
time.
Oh, yeah. When I have more time. Yeah, no, I think that's one of the other things that's really hard for people. This was me starting out too, is finding the time is I
Mm.
felt like I either had to go, I mean, this was right after high school. I started getting into powerlifting and looking at that. And that got into more of a stricter schedule. That was, you had to go and you had to do these specific workouts because that was based on your plan.
Mm.
But finding the time and finding what worked best with your schedule is either I'll go right after work at like 11 or midnight. I'll be starting my lift, or I can go at 5 or 6 a.m. You have to go and find, I mean, for me, that was a really hard part, was finding what worked for me
Yeah,
and sticking to it, staying consistent. Consistency is going to be your best friend. That's going to bring the most results. I don't know
absolutely.
what your thoughts on that are, but that's what I've seen with,
Yeah, no, 100%. It's like,
mhm,
if I had to choose, like, whether, I had mediocre workouts, but consistently for a year straight, or like super locked in for 3 months and then nothing for 9 months, every time I would choose the consistency, because
mhm,
that's just kind of compound that belief of like, I am a person who goes to the gym. I'm a person
yeah,
who is active. That's just like who I am, and reinforcing that identity.
mhm,
Cause we're not just trying to do the get fit quick, and
yeah,
like, first of all, that's going to lead to injuries and it's unrealistic.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, a lot of other things, but consistency every time is probably the biggest thing. And
very much so.
imperfect consistency. It's like tying
Yep.
that back into the all or nothing.
Yeah,
People are like, oh, well, like I missed 2 weeks. So like I'll start, like January 1st, in the new year. And it's like, dude, why?
yeah, no, exact. It just goes to the quote of the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. Second best time is today.
Yeah.
Why would you put it off? Oh, well, then I can just do it then. And then I'll be able to work harder because I'll be really locked in because I'll be all
I
so
can just really
prepared.
just pour more into it.
Yeah, I'll just be so prepared for it. And it's like, okay, I've heard you say that the last 6 months. Heard you say that last year. And that's something I think is just not putting it off. just going and doing it today, just finding something just to do. I mean, just this last week, I got home from work and it was like midnight because I'd gone over and was going over a fitness plan with my aunt and uncle because I'm going helping them cook up a couple things. And
Mm.
I remember it was midnight and I was like, man, I really don't want to drive 30 minutes to the gym because I moved and I'm a little bit further away from there. And it's like, man, I don't want to have to because it's an hour of driving. I have to work on, I have to be up at 8 to get ready and leave for work. So then all I did is I ran to the park a couple miles away, was doing sprints on the hills, looking like a psychopath at 1 a.m. Like a couple people drive by and like had this one guy, he's pulled over, he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm great, man. This is awesome. I just ran here. This is great. And went and just getting it in, just finding something and just doing it. And that's the hardest part. I mean, half the battle is showing up. The other half is just doing it.
Yeah.
And like you said, not doing it perfectly. You don't have to have a 10 out of 10 workout to be considered successful, in my opinion. I think just going through the actions like Jocko Willink talks about is just walk through it. Just do it. Don't give up and not do it. Going through the motions and walking through is going to be 10 times more beneficial, not just physically, but I think just mentally as well. Just instilling, like you said, this is what I do. This is who I am. Sticking with it is what I do.
Yeah,
But
for sure. And I think like, especially today, you know, we have social media, we have all these people with like the perfect lighting and doing this and doing that, and they don't really showcase the ugly days. But like, I like that you talked about like, oh my gosh, I gotta be, you know, it's midnight, I gotta be up, and I'll just go to the park and get a run in or something. And people don't see that because you know, sometimes it's harder. Like if I'm posting a workout on my story or something, sometimes I don't want to post the ugly stuff, but like that's the stuff that, like if I were to post or you posted that, like, hey, it's midnight, you know, didn't get a chance to go to the gym doing this, that's going to help people a lot more. And it's like, let's normalize the ugly days.
Exactly.
Or at least talking about it.
Exactly. I'm trying to remember what the guy's name is. He's one of the guys at Diamond Gym. I'm trying to remember. I think it's Unk. That's what his name is. Have you seen that? You've probably seen them on social media. Have you seen them? Diamond Gym. They're out.
Oh, it's like
they're
the most dangerous gym.
Yeah, because they're just going crazy. And I mean, the biggest guy, Unk, there, he's talking. I mean, crazy strength, by the way. I mean, personally, would I train like that? I've injured myself too many times already. I don't know if I would, but I respect it so much, just because they post every single time a guy fails a deadlift or fails a squat, they post it. Because they said, this is reality. This is the real world out here.
I love that, actually, yeah.
It's great because, like you said, so often you want to only post the pic where you're the perfect lighting with the perfect
Finish the Ironman.
Exactly.
Bench 315.
Exactly. No one wants to talk about, yeah, I first started and I could only curl 15-pound dumbbells for 5 reps and then my arms hurt. And nobody wants to look at that. Oh, you had to go to the small end of the dumbbell section. Nobody wants to talk about that. You just want to showcase all of the bright stuff. And I think everyone wants to because, like you said, just the masquerade that we put for social media of my life is perfect. The taking the picture, but everything outside is a mess. You know,
yeah.
We all want to do that, but I 100% agree with you. Being raw and being able to showcase, no, I'm not perfect. No, some things do suck sometimes. That's something I especially have been trying to implement, just not only in my day-to-day life with fitness, but also, you know, my faith, my religion, and just, I mean, especially with it being November with, you know, mental health. I mean, just talking about those things, it's almost like a weight off my chest when I talk like, no, I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
No, I'm not the guy who does everything perfect all the time. Nobody is.
Yeah.
All too often, I mean, I remember looking at Alex Eubanks. Oh my gosh, perfect physique. The dude's got feline abs and big arms, and you just like totally compare yourself to that. Oh, I only went to the gym 3 times this week. Oh, man. I'm never going to look like that. I'm never going to get like that. But no, I 1,000% agree with that. 1,000% agree with that. Speaking of the heart with that one.
Yeah, no, that's real. And it's so counterintuitive too, because it's almost like this invisible pressure to just not even just one up each other, but just to like pretend like everything's good because, and maybe that's kind of like a people pleasing tendency that I mean, I've noticed that in myself because I don't want to like dump stuff on people and be like, yeah, I had a bad day. And people are like, I'm like, people are already having a bad day or like life's
Mm-hmm.
tough. I don't want to dump my stuff on them. But
Yeah.
like you said, it feels good to share that stuff. And I feel like other people, it's kind of nice to be like, I thought you had your life together and every day was
Yeah.
perfect. And you're like, what? No.
Yeah. No,
And so it's
exactly.
that human connection. So I love that. Literally like 2 days ago, it was like, so it's Friday night, stayed up super late, and was like, okay, I gotta run a 10K in the morning with my boy Jasper.
Yep, I saw that.
Yeah. And I was like, just watching the hours kind of go by. It's like, I should go to bed. I should go to bed. I should go to bed.
Yeah.
I did this again last night too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of a problem this weekend and last weekend. but,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it was like, okay, at that point, you kind of have two paths that kind of open up, right? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
text him and cancel like an hour before and be like, oh, dude, like I messed up. I stayed up late. I can't make it. And I was like, definitely not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I would just feel like a little baby man. It's like, I didn't get enough sleep. So I was like, all right, damage control. So the second path is like, all right, I'm going to take my magnesium. I'm going to take my creatine, you know, all the stuff that helps me get quality sleep and just helps with when you have low sleep. I'm going to drink a full glass of water right when I wake up, get some electrolytes in, you know, make sure I have like the blackout curtains, make sure all the curtains are closed when I'm going to bed. And just like, how can I maximize and optimize the little sleep that I have? Or if it's like a shorter workout, how can I just increase the intensity a little bit more? If I'm like, oh, I only have a half hour, I can't make it to the gym. The gym's 20 minutes away. I have at a fitness center, my apartment, or like I have a kettlebell right over there.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can I increase the intensity to make up for the lack of time or the lack of sleep?
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. I feel like that's kind of another example of like a messy day or an ugly day.
Yeah.
Is like people don't see the, you know, and maybe it's not just me self-sabotaging myself, but maybe it's somebody that has like a young, you know, infant that kept them up late and they're like, man, it's easy for you guys to talk about that. You don't have kids. Just wait till I have kids or just wait till you have more responsibility. First of all, like, fair, but also you don't know what's going on in somebody's life, you know?
Exactly.
Everybody has stuff in their life going on. And so that's like a kind of an easy way out. It's like, that's must be nice for them because they're whatever. They don't have anything else going on in their life, but everybody does. So
Always.
don't say that.
Always. Always.
But yeah, just it's that path of just like, okay, I could do this or I could do this side. And that's going to increase more self-belief with me. I'm going to feel better about my decision. And it's hard in the moment for sure.
Very much so.
And, you know, it's counterintuitive, but it's worth it every time. Like afterwards, after that 10K, I was like, hell yeah. Like, I feel great. Like,
I did that.
Yeah,
I did that. Yeah.
A little sleep.
Yeah. No, I relate to that far too often just because, you know, there's so many times that you want to just pull that excuse of, oh, something. There's always going to be something. There always will be, no matter what you want, whether it's, man, my Xbox is looking at me a type of way right now. I just gotta go. I just gotta go play. Oh, well, now it's a little bit too late. Oh, the drive. Oh, my knees hurt. I can't go squat. Like there's always going to be something, you know, and I think eliminating those excuses for me, that was a big thing. Cause I mean, like I shared when I first started going to the gym, I was going and didn't really know what I was doing. Just jumped around, was just doing all these different things. And I was like, oh, I just want to do what I feel like today. And it wasn't until I got connected with a coach and I'd gone and I'd had someone who had given me some insight, or I went and I talked with these guys at the gym who'd given me, you got to do these things. You can't make an excuse for poor sleep. Now, sure, you can use that as a reason. Okay, today was bad, but what are you going to do to change that?
Yeah.
You know, it's adapting and overcoming. I think the two biggest things is, I'd say, besides when you're working out, intensity and consistency are the biggest things. I think consistency over intensity, but just adapting. I think learning to, okay, this sucked. I still went and I did it. That's the biggest thing, is just going and doing it. But then how are we going to change things for the better? I've been on this same block for 6 weeks. What am I going to do for the next 6 weeks so I don't start plateauing or I start to injure myself because I've been doing the same thing for the past 6 months? Like learning to overcome that and just change. I think for me, that's just kind of where I was in my headspace when you were mentioning that.
Yeah, for sure. And kind of like along the way, did you, I mean, I know you had some injuries along the way.
Plenty.
Which of those was maybe the toughest to get through or that impacted your life the most?
I would say the toughest one I had was probably when I totally just messed up my right knee. Because that's when I mean, I can even send you pictures and you can put this in. I was the biggest I'd ever been, the strongest I'd ever been. I was like 19 years old, 250 pounds. I was about to turn 20 because I remember it was December of 23, about to be 24. Or no, it was 22. It was 22 going into 23. And I remember I'd just gone and I just worked my whole way and I just got so big. And I remember I was just going and squatting, folded my right knee and it just went, ugh. Yeah, not very fun. And, me being the genius that I was, someone had taken off the safety arms.
Mm.
I was like, oh, this is only 365. I'm not even on my top set or I'm not even in my first set. This is going to be nothing. Well, then I went, folded my right knee and just one slip, totally just blew up my whole knee. Everything completely just
Oops.
ruined because I couldn't walk. I couldn't really move the same way that I could. There was a little bit of, home PT and just working through that. But that really, for me, it put me in a mental state where at that point, the gym was all I really had. I was in such a spot where this is what I do. This is who I am. I'd so rooted myself in that when I had that taken away, when I couldn't squat, when I couldn't work out, kind of went into a little bit of a depression where I just was like, oh, this sucks. And there was a lot of other things going on in my life where at that point I was doing a lot of things that I shouldn't have been, that aren't best for your health substance wise. I just got into that kind of a mindset of, oh, well, it doesn't matter. And I think that was probably the hardest one because that was my first really big injury that totally set me back. I mean, I couldn't go and squat for 6 months. And that was something I still love to squat. Still, I love to do it, but that was probably the hardest one, was overcoming that because I felt like I'd finally gotten to where I wanted to be. Finally, the big guy in the gym. People are coming up and asking me for tips. People are coming, how do you do that? What's this? And I just felt like, oh my gosh, I made it. And having it all just taken away, it sucked. It really did. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It was something that was really rough, but I think the best part about all of that was coming back, was working my way, pushing myself to the point, okay, no, this is okay. This is just a setback. I'd only been training for like a year at that point, year and a half at that point. So, I mean, it wasn't the end of the world. It felt like it. It sure did.
Yeah.
But no, I think that was the toughest one. We've had a lot ever since. I mean, I think I shared with you, I tore my about a year ago in November and
that sounded painful.
tore my rotator cuff and just been dealing with shoulder pain ever since, and it sucks, but I think that initial one where I could have just quit, because that was a thought in my mind, just, oh, the gym isn't for me. I tried the gym, like we've been saying. I tried, I got to there, but just it's helped me really overcome a lot of those things and learning to work through the hurdles, learning to work through those setbacks. I think it was the worst, but one of the best things that happened to me, I have to say.
I say good perspective to have on it, good mindset. I feel like, like you said, a lot of people could have used that as like, yeah, that's why I don't go to the gym anymore.
Well, I hurt my back.
Yeah.
I hurt my leg. Yeah, herniated my L4, L5 discs, cortisone injections. It's okay. Your back hurts. Mine does too. It's all right.
Yeah.
You can use that. It's all right. Like we've been saying, it's all up to whatever you want to. You have to be the one to make the decision. But
Yeah.
it's just my thoughts on that.
100%. A lot of people have trouble like hitting protein goals or tracking their foods, making sure they're eating enough calories or
Mhm.
eating in a calorie deficit if they're trying to lose weight. How has that been for you? Is that like a struggle at first or?
When I first started, I kinda was just eating whatever I could. Didn't really track calories.
Yeah, a
It's
little bit
like,
of a dirty bulk.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
just 'cause I wanted to put on size. And how do
Yeah.
you do it? Listen to Rich Piana, "You just gotta eat, you just gotta eat more, man." I'm like, "Okay, I'm just gonna eat more." So then it
Eat
was
big to get big.
and it worked.
Yeah.
It does, but I definitely was not tracking calories like I am now. I wasn't super duper, "Don't put this in." I wasn't very processed foods, yeah, they're the same as whole foods, right? It's all calories, right?
Mhm.
Oh, drinking calories? Oh, yeah, no, that doesn't matter too much. But tracking calories was really a struggle at first, but then when I got into, really started dialing in with focusing more so on physique, more on aesthetics versus just pure strength and muscle. I think that's when I really started to, because there's free apps. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
there's ChatGPT out there. If you want to know the number, you can find the number. There's free apps you can use to track.
Mhm.
But no, it was definitely a struggle for me at first. I mean, I don't know about you. Is that something that you would say you struggled with, or?
Yeah, like when I first started getting into it, like MyFitnessPal was like my best friend.
Yep,
And
yep.
that's back when they changed it now. It used to be you could scan stuff with the barcode and it would put it in for the
Hmm.
free version. And
Yeah,
I put that on the paid version. So that's kind of a bummer. But
yeah. You could change that back, my
yeah,
fitness pal, if you're listening.
MyFitnessPal. um, there was a point where I was like, okay, like I feel like I'm just focusing a little too much on the gym because I kind of we were talking about this a little bit before we started on the podcast, but it's like I
Hmm.
kind of hyperfixate on stuff.
Yeah,
And so I was like,
yeah.
okay, like all these other areas of my life are kind of like probably need more focus, like the
Mhm.
gym. Like I'm in shape. I don't need to be putting this much mental bandwidth into gym. So I
Yeah.
stopped tracking and lo and behold, I stopped progressing in the gym. I was still going 3 days a week for like those 4 or 5 years. That was um that I was kind of stuck at that same way, kind of same physique for a long time. But I was like, I told myself, oh, I can just eyeball it. I look at something like, yeah, I know about how much protein's in like 4 ounces of chicken or, a
Yeah,
couple 200 grams of rice, it's,
yeah,
a couple hundred calories, this many carbs. But like throughout the course of a day, it's so hard to eyeball it. And some people can eat intuitively if that's, if you eat roughly the same stuff every
mhm,
day in the same portions, you could probably be okay. But most people, for the eat intuitively advice, I would say probably don't try that.
yeah.
Uh,
I think it all just depends on where you're wanting to go.
yeah, and what your goals are too.
If your goal is to just get in better shape and you just know, "Okay, I won't have my 650 calorie Starbucks in the morning. I'll
Hmm.
replace that with the protein shake and then eat a couple eggs."
Yeah,
I think if that's what your goal is, that's great.
that's amazing.
Like, just realizing those things is awesome. I think it all just depends if you're wanting to go into bodybuilding where you have to track every grain of rice, where you're
By the
like,
gram.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
going in, you've got one of those scales that tells you like protein, like carbs, all that stuff. I mean, it's like it all just depends what your goals are. Like you
Right.
said, I think the average person, you could, sure. I mean, if that's what works for you and that's just changing things a little bit for the better, awesome. But that's a big step. But I do agree. I think it's all about the effort you put into it. It's all
Yeah.
about realizing, you know, what am I doing that's got me in this position and what do I need to change?
Yeah. And I know there's probably people out there that are like, no, literally like I can't track or I don't want to track anything but typing in my food into a calculator. In that case, like maybe it'd be something like what you said, like,
Mhm.
okay, eat kind of the same stuff throughout the rest of the day, but like swap out your $650 Starbucks drink for, some eggs and, some
Yeah.
protein. And that's a great place to start and, get in some consistent lifts throughout the week.
Yeah.
You'll see results for sure.
Definitely.
But if you're trying to lose like certain amount of pounds within 12 months or 6 months, like it depends how aggressive your goals are, then
Yeah.
it's going to benefit you to track that. So,
Yeah. No, it all how specific you want. I mean, If you aim at nothing, you're going to hit it every time.
Right. Yeah, I love that.
You know, if your goal is to lose a specific amount of weight, you have to have specific amount of calories that you're eating. I mean, it's all what the SMART goals. That's what it is: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and trackable. I mean, you have to have some sort of idea on what you're doing. I think it's also not so much. I mean, you were just talking about those things, and this just popped into my head. It's not. I think a lot of things. It's not so much adding something else, adding in new routine or new food, or I need to go grab all these new things, but maybe more so just removing. I think it's
Yeah.
a lot of just removing the bad habits, maybe not even things that are super bad, but just aren't benefiting you, like the video game time. I
Yeah.
mean, like staying up a little too late, or, oh, the Starbucks drink, or just ice cream at night. Oh, I just treat myself, or a glass of wine before I go to bed. You know, it's just all those little things. I think they add up a lot more than you expect.
Yeah.
And you kind of realize that if you go and you sit down, because that was something one of my old coaches, he had gone over with me, is he said, what are little things that aren't serving you? And we went over and went through all these different lists and things. And we went over, and I remember, I think I saw the most progress when we talked about all of those, and we'd gone over and I just removed the little things that weren't maybe not hurting me, but just not benefiting me the most. And then you get into that point, you see, okay, now I have all this free time.
Yeah.
Now, oh, I have an extra 15 minutes. Let me go run a mile or two, or let me go walk a mile. Let me go for a walk late at night, because I'm not sitting there watching TV until I
Right.
go pass out, then stumble into my bed, without brushing my teeth. And I don't know,
Yeah.
oddly specific. I don't know why, but
No, it's so true though. It's like, oh, well, I'm already here. I
mhm,
treated myself to some ice cream. Well, I can't run because I just ate. So let me just put on a show. And then it's like, oh, they had a really good,
yeah,
cliffhanger at the end of that episode. And I gotta watch the next one. And then it's
just
like,
finish the
it's kind of
season.
spiral. But it works the
Yeah.
other way too. It's like, okay, like I didn't put the ice cream in my cart. So therefore it's like, I don't have that sweet treat at the end of the night. And for some people they're like, oh, I need
Mhm.
something sweet. There's alternatives, or there's ways to do it
There
with better
is
timing. But
1,000%.
um, just for the sake of example, that first one versus, okay, I didn't even put the ice cream in my cart. I have, something sweet waiting for me. I'm gonna go. I got like 20 minutes before I need to
Mhm.
wind down. I'm gonna go on like a walk. And then when
Yeah.
you're out on a walk, it's like, oh, like I'm already here out on my walk. Um, Now I'm like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna do this other good habit. I don't know. And then you get home and it's like, all right, now I'm a little bit like ready to wind down. I don't
Yeah.
really want to watch. I don't really want to put on a show because I'm making these good habits,
Yeah.
basically voting for the better, more productive version of myself. And it's like the TV and the ice cream becomes a little less appealing
Mhm.
because it's like, but I'm putting this effort and these votes into this
Yeah.
basket, right? That's not where I want to go. And so
100%.
it might sound like scary, like, taking things out that I enjoy, or my comfort food, or my show. It's like
Yeah.
you could keep those if you can, manage it well and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
at the same time, I think you're not gonna miss it as much as you might think.
Oh,
So
1,000%. I mean, like you talked about, it's just you fall in love with the process.
yeah.
Once you start doing it, you get addicted to it. You really, I think once you start doing that and you start to see the results that come from it, I mean, at least for me, I got totally fixated on the first time I benched 135. Oh, I think I could pitch 225. Oh man, I think I could get to 275 maybe, or 315 possibly.
Mhm.
And you just get addicted to those milestones. You want to remove the things that don't serve you. You want
Yeah.
to just, what else can I do? What else can I add? I mean, at least for me, that was my thought process on coming from someone who never wanted to do the extra work. I felt like throughout high school, I mean, extra credit, never wanted to do any. I never wanted to do the extra work.
Yeah.
But then once you start to see those results that came from it, gets addicting. It
Yeah.
really does.
I'm kind of the same way. It's probably, I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing, but if I didn't see the point of it or the real world application, I
Hmm.
would put less effort into it and be like,
Yeah.
am I going to use this again? Or,
Yeah.
I don't think this is a worthwhile use of my time. Then I would just like put very little effort in it. But if I'm seeing results and it's, you say like, oh, like, well, I can kind of see these new like striations over here, or now like my shoulders are popping through my t-shirt. Like that's kind of cool.
Unlocking a new vein.
Yeah. And it's like, um, it, like you said, it becomes a little bit addicting. It's like, okay, well, then it becomes, do I want to keep my, shoulders protruding from my t-shirts and fitting all snug? And then that is competing with your ice cream and you're staying up late. And it's like, no, because I remember when I locked in, I was going to bed consistently, had a good time and tracking my food, I saw really good progress. So it's like, I don't really want to do that. And then it just becomes this versus this, and this becomes less attractive. Oh, I guess like going back to doing things that you see the fruits of, that can be a good thing because I'll put more effort into things that are more important to me and I kind of hyperfixate on that. But at the same time, it can be harder to do like delayed gratification. It's like, well, I'm not seeing any results, so yeah, I don't know about that. But kind of the cool thing about fitness is it's pretty much a science. It's like if you're doing the right things consistently, like you will see progress.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of nice. But
I like to say, and this came from our old athletic director at the school I went to. I remember he was talking about it, and I was always a little bit jealous because he'd always like work with the athletes, work with the big guys. And, I never was one of those guys he selected to, oh, let's do a personal workout. Let's do stuff like that. But I remember he said this one thing that really stuck with me, and I still think about it, is he says, the weight room is the fairest thing in the world. You get in exactly what you put out. You're not going to receive results that you didn't put in the steps for. You're not going to get fat if you're going to be losing if you're eating less. You're not going to go and bench 315, within 6 months if you're not putting in the work. I mean, it's like,
yeah.
it's called, and this is just another thing that he had said, funny enough. He's like, it's called the weight room for a reason. Doesn't happen instantaneously.
You got it like WAIT. Okay. You
Yeah.
wait.
And he's like, it's going to take time. And I think just like we were talking about, the things that do serve you, the things, the fruits of your labor, they may not come instantaneously. You may have to wait 6 months to a year. You may have to wait a while. Some people, the results come just like that. Like, I think that was the thing that really pissed me off the most, was seeing guys who would, oh yeah, no, I kind of just work out, and then they dial in for a little bit. They've already got a 6-pack, they got these boulder shoulders. And I'm like, man, you kind of suck. I don't like to see that it just came so easy for you.
Yeah, that's a tough part.
But it comes, it shows up. You just have to be willing to put in the work, even if you can't see it. Just like we talked about with the ugly, even if nobody sees it, you're still doing it. It still is there. It still is happening. But
yeah,
it's just my thoughts on that. And just wanted to put out those quotes. Remember those, and that just was speaking to me right there.
Fire. I like that. The weight room, WAIT.
It takes time. I think that's one of the things I'll just say real quick, just to anybody who's listening. I think don't get discouraged if it doesn't come immediately. Just kind of fall in love with the progression. I feel like all too often you set a goal, and once you achieve that goal, you don't celebrate it. It's what's the next goal? What else do I need to do? Okay, I got to this body fat percentage, with this much lean muscle mass on me. Well, I need to put on more muscle with less. I need to do this. Celebrating your achievements, it's tough.
Yeah.
That's something that I have really struggled with. But doing that, you just feel so much more fulfilled. You just feel so much better about just like, no, I did that. It's not a competition with anybody else either. It's you versus you. It's not, because nobody, like we talked about, we're all so different. Comparing yourself to somebody else isn't fair to you or them.
Yeah.
If I was to go look at you, oh my gosh, I want to be built like Nightwing and just have like all these rock solid abs. I just want to be able to do a muscle up. That's not fair. Like, he's done all these things, like, oh, I need to be able to get there. Okay, that's not fair, because that almost invalidates the work that you've put in versus just, I don't know. I just think it's something that you can't compare yourself to somebody else, because they haven't gone what they've gone through. more importantly, they haven't gone what you've gone through too.
Right.
You got to be able to go and realize everyone's running their own race. Everyone has different finish lines.
Yeah.
We're all not running the same race.
Yeah.
But
No, that's true. I think it's important to figure out what is your goal. Like you're talking about SMART goals.
mhm,
And like, I don't know, it's like, oh, I just want to see my abs before I die. It's like, okay, that's probably not going to happen if that's your goal. You got to get more specific and like,
mhm,
you know, if it's that vague, it's probably not very committed. But, maybe it's, I want to run a marathon, or maybe it's, I want to, get to this percentage of body fat, or just, have my pants fit again from X size.
mhm.
And I feel like when you have a specific goal for yourself, it's a little easier to not play the comparison game.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, that dude's benching 325, but it's like, is my goal to bench 325? No. Then why am I
well,
worried
it's
about it?
better.
You know?
Exactly. Exactly. I I think slapping a date on it too,
Yeah.
it holds yourself
Yeah.
accountable. And then I think it just leads you to do all the things that we talked about, well, then how do I get there? Well, I'm going to start doing the things that I should be doing and maybe taking the things away that I shouldn't. And then it's just like, I need to get to this date. I need to have this. Like,
Mm,
I need to fit in a size 34 waist. This is just funny. I mean, I'd shared with you before this last weekend, one of my buddies was getting married, and I had a guy who told me, he's like, man, I want to be able to like fit in my dress shirt. I want to have all my muscles popping. How do I get there? Like,
you're like,
okay,
well,
how much time do you have? I mean, do you think it's realistic? And we went over a lot of those things. And I'll be honest, I mean, he looked really great this last weekend
yeah.
because he put in this work. Shout
How
out.
long ago did he reach out?
We'd found out in, I want to say it was like right after we'd found out that our buddy had gotten proposed, or he proposed. So I want to say it was May. So we have probably a solid
Oh, okay.
6 months. And
Yeah, yeah.
he put in the work, man. I would
Good for
say
him.
shout out Camden. I'm gonna give out another shout out on here.
Yeah.
He put in the work. He looked good. I'm really proud of the dude for that. I mean, he's also another guy. He kind of reminds me like your physique, just very just delts popping, just very lean and really athletic built, but
Mm,
just I don't know, really really happy for him too. He's looking
that's,
into his own stuff for bodybuilding competitions, totally just
yeah.
outing his stuff on the internet. That's okay. I don't think he'd be too mad, but
Yeah. No, that's sick. I was thinking he texted you like 2 weeks ago.
no,
Hey, buddy, listen.
no, not him. Maybe other people, but no, not him.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Not him.
That's good. Yeah, that's sick. Yeah. Did your parents were they into fitness, or other siblings, or did they play sports, or what did that kind of look like? Did you have these examples in the home?
I want to say it was interesting because if I go and I look back and you were to ask like me or my parents, they were always really supportive of like, oh, we want like try and do a sport. My dad, he ran track back in high school. He did the hurdles. I mean, he'll talk about it a lot. He was went to state for hurdles and then he went to prom the same night. Like he kind of did that, but then growing up, it was never like working out wasn't like a huge thing.
Okay,
Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
we do sports like the gym. First time I stepped into a gym, I was like 17, almost 18 years old,
Okay,
almost an adult. And I
yeah.
think that comparison of, or no, I was like 17 years old. And I remember looking, there's like kids who are like 15 and 16, just super jacked. And that's where that comparison came in. But
Yeah.
I, we did sports, but working out wasn't like a huge thing.
Okay,
I
yeah,
feel
yeah,
like, if that
yeah.
makes sense. And it was different because I didn't know that side of the world existed.
No, I feel like that's pretty standard experience, pretty normal.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Because, you go and it's like, okay, well, we have basketball practice and we go and we do our workouts in there. You do your sprints, you do whatever. And
Yeah.
then the weight room kind of comes. And I mean, that's what I've seen a lot, especially, 'cause, I mean, there's gyms just popping up everywhere.
Mm.
EOS is just blowing up Planet Fitness. I mean, it's become a lot more common to just go work out than it was, I mean, just 5 years ago. I
Yeah.
mean, I just think about the amount of people I know who are like, oh yeah, no, I go to the gym. And I've talked with people who are, a little bit older, like, oh no, yeah, there were never that many gyms. I mean, unless you wanted to
Mhm.
be a bodybuilder or a powerlifter, it's like, why would you go to the gym? You know?
Yeah, that's actually true. Now that I think about it, it's like somebody has a 24-hour fitness membership, and you're like, oh, what do you do there?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly,
it's like
exactly.
everybody. I feel like it was more popular to have like the little P90X CD ab
Yeah.
burner, whatever it's
Yeah,
called.
yeah, my mom, I will say
Like
that was one thing. She did like those
those.
home
Yeah, I
workouts.
feel like
She
that was a
had
whole
them.
era, and now we're into like gyms are everywhere era.
Yeah, yeah, the home equipment is starting to leave.
Mm,
Now, we have a little garage gym, so I can't say, that I don't, but it's very different. I
yeah,
think
yeah.
seeing the culture, the We Go Gym culture,
Mm,
it's still new. It's very different. And I think it's good. I think it's great.
it's good.
Just
Yeah.
because then you build that sort of community, then you build those friendships. I mean, I can think all the people I've met at the gym, and it's just so awesome.
Mm,
Just building that, and I think getting out there is great. But
yeah. Super positive community for the most part in most gyms.
yeah, yeah,
To say.
for the most part, in most
Yeah.
gyms, I mean, there's gonna be
Yeah.
people everywhere.
I don't like blanket statements, so I always,
Yeah,
throw in like, for the most part, or
yeah, exactly. And I mean, people are people. We're
yeah,
imperfect, and
yeah.
you can't judge someone for having a bad moment. I mean, I can think of the time this just I remember I was working out with this guy, and we were at the gym, and it's like 6 in the morning, so it's starting to get a little bit busier. We're sitting there, we're on the chest press machine, we're going. I remember I'm doing my workout, my buddy, he's standing maybe like probably where the camera is right now. He was just standing there because we're like right in front of the machine. There's like a little walkway, and this guy who comes, he just shoulder checks him. He's like a kid in high school. I'm like 18 years old, so and there's grown freaking man just going to shoulder checks. Get out the effing way. Why are you walking? And he like starts going, just like chewing him out. I just like look at the guy, and I didn't really know too much of what was going on. I had my headphones in. I was like, dude, what's your issue? And then he came up and apologized later at the end. He's like, I'm sorry, I've just been up, X, Y, and Z, problems with my wife. I mean,
Mm.
you don't know what's going on in someone's head. You
That's
don't
that's
know.
actually impressive that he came back and apologized.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that.
When he came up, I was like, oh my gosh, if this guy does something, we're both like, yeah, we're gonna like totally just smack this guy. We're gonna go get
Yeah,
him in the
yeah,
parking lot. And he came up and apologized after, and I was totally taken aback.
yeah,
Like, oh, yeah, no, you're okay. You don't know, kind of like you said, you don't know what somebody's going through. We're all going through something,
yeah,
you know?
and stuff like that. Like, it's for me, it's kind of uh, I get a little bit when there's like aggravation for like no reason. I get like stuff like that, or somebody cuts you off in traffic when I was driving fine. Stuff like that gets me a little bit worked up. For me, it's like I'm not a very like if I'm stressed, my reaction is not to take out anger on other people. So it's
Mhm.
harder for me to empathize and realize where they're coming
Understand.
from. I'm like, that guy's just an idiot or whatever. But it's like you said, everybody's going through stuff. Even if it's harder for us to see their perspective, is like, oh well, I would never shoulder check a 16-year-old in the gym if I'm
Mhm.
having a bad day. And it's like maybe if you lived his life, you would. You don't
Mhm.
know.
You don't know. You
You
don't know
do
what
not
you
know.
don't know, right? So,
So yes, getting into some deep topics. Huh? This is good.
yeah. No, I know. I'm like totally thinking. I mean, you really don't know. I can just think back, especially with getting into the gym and mental health too. It's just like you really don't. And I just want to put that out there just to check up on people because
Mm,
it's tough. I mean, I can just think back on like a lot of people I've known who've struggled and even lost their battle with mental health, and it sucks. I mean,
it's heartbreaking.
yeah, just because I think far too often people look at it as a selfish thing to do or the easy way out, but you don't know what was going through their head in that moment.
Mm,
You don't know what they were feeling when they decided to act out on that. And I mean, it's not as much as it hurts that their actions have gone and impacted you. I mean, I can just think of my own stuff. I've been pretty angry before, just thinking like, why would you do this? Why would you just hurt me and your family? And just why would you do this to everyone else? But you don't know what they were feeling. You don't know what that was. And it wasn't until I started to have I mean, I always kind of struggled with, a lot of depression. That's something that the gym really has helped me with, is just managing that. It was therapeutic for me. And I
Yeah.
think that it's just learning to work with that, learning to accept that reality and understand that, it's not just you. It's never just you who's going through something. I think
Mhm.
far too often you can kind of just self-isolate and just think, it's just me. I'm the one who's going through this. Nobody else is going to understand. Nobody else really cares. But there is. I mean, you may not know what somebody else is going through, but you might be able to relate. You know, I think
Yeah.
that's thoughts on that. Well, I'm
Yeah.
not going to
No.
say 2 cents. I remember BJ talking about that. It's not worth 2 cents. I definitely don't think that.
I like that. Yeah.
But
But to your point, check up on people. I totally agree. It's always a good idea if a thought pops into your head, like, you should call your mom, you should call your buddy.
mhm.
Like, do it.
Yeah, yeah. It's not always as easy to spot. I don't know if you've seen, there was like that World Cup commercial. I think it was like 10 years ago or something, that came out of like the two guys and they're at the soccer game, the football match. If anyone can get upset. But it's like these two guys sitting. I'm both sitting like this, and one of the guys is like kind of quiet, and he's like, "Oh, we're just clapping." The other guy's like super excited when they score, like when they lose, he's just like really upset. And the other guy's just like, "Oh, it's just a soccer game." And then it cuts to like another clip where the guy who's just been a lot more just kind of like level emotion, just monotone. He goes and sits down, scarf there. The other guy had gone and lost his battle. It was really weird because you think like, oh no, this other guy that's not as happy or as excited, he's got to be the
Mm,
one who's struggling with it. It's not as easy to spot. There's so many people that I have gone and talked with in my own life who I never would have thought would be struggling with the same problems that I thought I did unless I would have shared it with them. You've considered, ending your life, and like just because of X, Y, and Z reasons. And it's hard because it almost catches you off guard. But at the
oh
same
yeah, it
time,
does.
it's amazing, even going back to just sharing the ugly, because we don't want to talk about those things. You just
Hmm.
want to act like everything's okay. But I just think reaching out, checking up on people is so important to me, because there's been too many times and too many people that it just like, you just never know.
Yeah.
I just think that's really big thing for me. Is just, you just never know. You don't know tomorrow's not promised. All you have is right now.
Mm,
You can't focus on what's behind you. You can't focus on what's there. You can only use that to impact how you are going forward, but that starts now.
yeah, for sure. Have you had people check up on you as well when you're going through some stuff?
I have. I have, and then there's been times where I feel like I haven't. And it's hard because I mean, there's been a couple points in my life where I've gotten into a really dark state. There's been a couple times I'm like to say I'm lucky to be here. There's been a couple times I've gone and, you know, I really do feel blessed to be here, because there's so many times that I've gone and I felt like I'm the only one. And the worst part is sometimes you're not the only one. Oh, I know if I talk with someone about this, or if I go and I call my mom, she'll answer. But there's been times where I have felt just so alone. I've called like 5 or 6 friends and none of them answer. And I'll shoot them a text. I'm like, checking up, just wanted to talk. Like, how was your day? But I just want to talk about my day. I just want to talk
Mm,
with you. Like, I'm
yeah.
asking you that question,
Like help.
hoping you'll ask it back.
Yeah, yeah.
And then there's been other times. I mean, I I just had a buddy who just texted me randomly. He's like, "Hey, how are things going? You doing okay?" Like, just, I think I've seen both sides of that,
Yeah.
where I've gone and just self-isolated and really just cut myself into that alone corner. But then I've also been in a point where lately, like, I have a lot of people, or not a lot of people, but I have a few people that I do really care about who are checking up on me. And that's what matters. And
Yeah.
I call it like a tight circle. Think like of people that are in there, but they're solid people. I'd
Yeah.
rather have 4 or 5 friends that I know I will call and talk to and they'll answer, versus 10 or 20 people that, we might get together. I mean, they might show up if I ask to help move, or I don't know.
Yeah.
My thoughts
I
on that.
agree. And just you talking about that brings to mind, after this podcast is over, I need to text this friend of mine, because he reached out to me and he's like, "Hey man, like, is everything okay?" But I could tell he was going through some stuff, and I need to check up on him. It's been a couple weeks,
Yeah,
so it's a good reminder.
very much so. I mean, to anyone who's listening, just do it. I think it all comes from a good spot. With my religion and my faith, I just think it's anything good comes from God. You don't just have that thought of, oh, I'm gonna do something nice for just no reason.
Hmm.
There's something behind that,
Yeah.
at least in my thoughts, because I had a buddy one time who I hadn't talked to for a while. I heard he was back from school just for winter break. I texted him, I was like, "Hey, heard you're in town. Let's go catch a lift. Let's go work out." And he didn't answer. And then we worked out. And then I just had been texting him. And then I remember I woke up from a nap one day after work, maybe like a month or so later. And he was just like, "Hey, man, really appreciate all you've done." But just like kind of just telling me like, "Hey, you've been a great friend, but I can't do this anymore." And I was just so like, went, drove and talked with him. And he was like, thankfully he's still here and he didn't
Hmm.
do anything rash or anything like that. But it was
Yeah.
just something that I was like, oh my gosh. And he was like, if we didn't go or you didn't reach out at the beginning, I probably wouldn't have texted you. You wouldn't have come up to my mind. And then I may not have been there to go talk things over with him. You just don't know. You really don't. And I just implore that to people, because you don't want to sit there asking yourself, what if? We all have our what ifs, and I'll be honest, they
Hmm.
suck. They're
Yeah.
not, whatever it may be, or, a failed relationship, or a failed dream of yours. You don't want to ask yourself what if for anything. You want
Yeah,
to know that you gave it your all and just be at peace with that.
for sure. And you kind of pivoted back to a dream that you had a couple years ago of going into military,
Hmm.
which is coming up pretty soon. Um,
Yeah.
what's that look like as far as like training and getting ready for that?
Yeah. It's funny because I've talked with a lot of people. I have a bunch of buddies who are in the service right now who are, and I mean, I'm looking at that still, and I'm actually looking at the fire department as well, just looking
Mm,
at like those, real life application fitness processes. It's different, because I feel like when I first started training, I just wanted to just put on muscle. I just want to have my chest fill out my shirts, and I didn't want to have, loose arm sleeves. And it's different, I think, training, because I
it's more
also,
functional.
yeah. And then I remember I got to that point, I think I told you it was like right before I'm really glad, before I just blew up my knee. I remember I wanted to run a mile and see what my time was. I was like 2:40, 2:50. I got on the treadmill, and it was the funniest thing. Andre, Andre,
Mm,
I think he may even have like a picture of it, but I'm running on the treadmill and I'm just like gassed. I'm like just like rocking it back and forth because I'm like trying to go as hard as I can. And it took me like 13 minutes, and I stopped like 3 times through because I just couldn't. Versus now, that's something I have to be able to run,
yeah.
whether it's the fire department or the military, whatever, ends up coming through from this over these next couple months to years. So that's something that I've wanted to do. You have to change, just like you said, what's your goal? What are you going to do to get there? My goal initially was to just put on size and just look really big. Great. I did the things that got me there. Now, if I want to be able to go and run 3 or 4 miles with the weighted vest on, how am I going to get there? Okay, start implementing running. And it's just figuring out what your goal is. It's very different, though, I have
Yeah.
to say. I mean, I know with you and calisthenics, I'll just ask you, what's your journey been like with that? Because I know you kind of talked about how you have been doing that a lot more lately versus when you'd first initially started, or kind of walk me through that.
Yeah. I've always kind of been fascinated by like the calisthenics, people doing muscle ups and doing
Human
front
flat.
levers
Yeah.
and human flag. It was like, wow, like gravity just likes them or doesn't like them. It doesn't
Yeah.
apply to them. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And you'll never see somebody that does like body weight calisthenic stuff that is not shredded.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any. If you can do some of those advanced moves, like you're gonna be pretty, like very much in shape.
You're very much in shape. I mean, I just think of those guys in Russia, just the playground workouts. I mean, those guys are insane. I'll just go and sit there, just do knuckle push-ups. Oh, yeah, I'll just do 500 just out there, and then I'll go do 500 pull-ups.
Yeah.
Then I'll go do a bunch of stuff.
1,000 dips.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my gosh,
I know.
that's insane to me. But
yeah, that's always fascinated me. I would watch like Fennec's YouTube videos, the dude with like the neck tattoos.
yeah.
Kind of got like,
How to get
I don't know
abs
if he
in
wears
15
like
minutes.
eyeliner or what, but he's kind of got like darker aesthetic.
Yeah.
But he's super sick. He's absolutely shredded. And that's always fascinated me. He's like, oh, wow, look at him. He's like, this is how you do a muscle up. What?
Talking you through while he's going. He's like, so you're going to pull up here and you're going to start to rotate.
Then you see this, you're going to rotate that. And then you just, let me put my arm back here. And I was just like,
he's insane.
Whoa, he's just flying. So that's always kind of fascinated me. And so I made it a goal. It was like beginning of this year. I was like, I want to do human flag within 3 months. And I kind of like put off some of these calisthenics goals because I was seeing pretty good results as far as putting on lean mass. And I was like, great.
Aesthetics wise, yeah.
You know? And so I was like, all right, I got to stay consistent with my heavy lifting. And so I started doing less handstand type stuff, but I definitely want to get back into it. I feel like it's just really good for your joints too. You know, when you're in the gym and you're doing these isolated movements, like just pressing, just pushing, just pulling in one direction, it's way different than doing like, I don't know, like a pike push up and the way that your wrists and your forearms have to engage. And, you know, you're not going to blow out your wrist from doing a pike push up, probably, unless you're like 1,000 pounds. But like,
hopefully not,
you know? And so it just engages a lot more.
Right now.
Yeah. And so, yeah, that's just always fascinated me.
Definitely.
Something I want to get back into for sure.
Definitely. I guess I'll just ask you, I mean, what are some of your goals right now? I know we talked a little bit about mine and just more practical, real life strength. I mean, fellow guy on the internet, he calls it the FU strength. He's like, if I got to go and grab someone, I can. I don't know. Makes me laugh. What are some of your goals right now?
Yeah. I have a Spartan race in like 2 weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're in November now. I remember you mentioning that. Gosh, it's coming quick. Yeah,
it came out quick. I wish I would have done more running. It's like there's different distances, and I'm doing the one that's like a half marathon. But the good part about it is that there's all these obstacles mixed in, right? So you're running, and then you get to the obstacle, and there's like people, you have to wait for them to get through the obstacle, and then it's your turn.
Stand there, catch your breath.
So there's a lot of like run, stop.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
It's like have I run, 10 miles nonstop before? No, I think the most I did was a couple years ago. It was like 8 miles.
Props to you.
And it was like I thought I was gonna die. I was blasting Tron Legacy soundtrack the whole time, just like Daft Punk, just like
I feel It's so funny with the most recent one that came out. We're doing a workout with my brother in the garage. Turn that on, just says, "Oh man, I forgot how good this was." I felt that when he said, "Yeah."
There's a couple songs on that soundtrack. I'd put like all 3 of them on a loop for that for that run, and it was also like 2 p.m. Dallas summer heat, brutal. But
jeez,
yeah, I'm like, okay, this is a half marathon. I haven't even really run 10 miles in one sitting, much less 13. Yesterday I did a 10K, but
jeez.
So I have that coming up in 2 weeks. Other than that, I do want to get back into like, I want a handstand without a wall for like controlled and figure out the human flag and stuff like that. Just like bucket list stuff, some building up the dad lore, the uncle lore.
No,
this is Uncle Ken.
Yeah, look.
Can any of your other uncles do that? No. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's a little ego thing going, but it pushes me in the right direction.
Exactly. I agree with that. I was like,
it's a little competitive.
Yeah, it's good. I think healthy competition is great, but then you just got to watch the comparison. But no, I think this. I'm a very competitive person. I get that. I get that.
Yeah. I know we're a little bit over on time. I'll be respectful of your time, the rest of your day.
Oh, I
But
appreciate that.
last question for you. If whatever time period this looks like for you, maybe it was a darker point mentally or
Mhm.
just when you were brand new into the gym, whatever point that is in your life, picture that person, that younger self, maybe like right here, sitting in a chair. You're looking at
Yeah.
them and you're like, okay. And what is maybe like a couple pieces of advice, just a couple of short sentences if you had just like 30 seconds with that younger version of yourself?
Wow. Yeah. That's a great one. I think there's a lot of points I wish I could go back to and talk with just because I look back, there's been a lot of times where I've been like, oh man, done a lot of great things. And there's other times I'm like, gosh, what are you doing? You just screwed us over.
Yeah.
But I'll probably go back to when I was 18. I was in high school and I was just starting, or I'd probably been about 6 months in, maybe get close to a year in the gym. And I was starting to see results. I think the biggest thing I'd tell him is I just know I'd always like to start things, but sometimes I would quit things like, oh, things get hard. And I think I would just tell him it's okay for things to go wrong. It's okay for things to not go according to plan. If he was to, I look at him and I look like, oh man, I remember doing that. He probably would look at me and be like, dude, you're not a millionaire by now. Like we're doing, like it's okay for things to not go according to plan. I think that's the biggest thing is as much as trials and setbacks really hurt and suck, because we all have some. I don't want to act like mine are any harder or easier than anybody else's,
Mhm.
but I just think it's okay when things go wrong. Because I think all too often I looked at things like if it wouldn't go according to plan, just give up. I wasn't expecting that. That wasn't a part of the plan. That wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to go the way that it did. I think just reiterating on that, it's okay and just to not give up,
Mhm.
just not quit. I mean, it's a mindset. And I think adopting that into your personality is something that I've done. And I think just really reiterating that as much as when things are hard, it's okay.
Mm.
It's okay for things to not turn out the way that they did. And accepting that and just being okay and loving yourself at that point is something that I still have a really hard time doing. But it's just something that's going to make things a lot easier. It's going to really help that positive self talk. But
Yeah.
I think just, yeah, a little more than a few sentences, but
No, that's
just
good. I love
wanted to
that.
kind of explain that. But
Powerful. I
mhm,
think if your younger self were here today, they'd be really appreciative of that advice.
I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah.
Might have just brushed it off, to be honest, but no, I agree. I definitely think it's yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here today.
No, I appreciate you. Thanks for having me. This has been awesome. Gonna sit and talk with you. I know we've had plenty of our talks at the gyms. This is great. I'm glad.
Yeah,
Hopefully this will go and reach out to somebody who needs to hear it. Really,
absolutely.
definitely think someone's gonna get something from this,
Yeah.
especially from you.
Good conversation for sure.
Thank you.